Da-da-da-da-da. Well, here we are again on the Barry Funkhauser Show. Barry Funkhauser here, obviously. Hello. 'Tis I with Joe. Hey, Joe. He's there.
Hello. I'm here.
Hey, Joe.
Hi.
What do you know? How do you do?
I know too much. We were talking about this. I gotta stop knowing so much because I talk too much.
Well, today's another special, exciting day because we have a band from Vegas on today. Brendan from Mercy Music is on with us. Good afternoon, man.
Everybody.
Yeah. Hey, welcome. Music Discovery. Great.
So
good
here's
stuff.
the deal, Brendan. So I used to live in Vegas, and I was there 23 months because they said, the locals told me, if you live there for more than 2 years, you can never leave. Is that the case? Are you from there? Tell us your story.
I moved to Vegas in 2001, so like the end of 8th grade for me. I would kind of agree to that because I see a lot of people leave and come back. For me, it was really cheap as I got older, and then I have a family, so that like was all great. And now it's not cheap, and now I'm here.
Where were you at in the valley? Were you like closer to the strip or like out in the suburbs?
I've lived everywhere, but mainly I've been in the suburbs, like Summerlin or Centennial, or just like more south.
Summerlin's great for families, man.
I lived in Hendertucky when I lived there.
That's the one place in the city I've never lived, or like I've never crossed the lines. And never crossed the lines.
He heard that you lived there, Barry, and he was like, "No way."
Well, that's why they call it Hendertucky, because it's so freaking far away from everything else, and there's nothing there.
So but yeah, no, it's blown out so much in the past. Even where I live now, it's crazy.
But the one thing about Vegas, that people don't understand, and I had this problem. I was like, oh man, Vegas keeps expanding. Where are they going to get the water from? We're already having problems. And it turns out that Vegas is the leader, like one of the world leaders in water reclamation and reuse. And so they are like, they are one of the largest cities in the world, and they take so little water from the Hoover Dam area and the Colorado River that it's like negligible. It's crazy to me. So it's like, hey man, you guys got you worked it out. Can you like send your plans down to Phoenix, because they have no idea what they're doing down there.
Yeah, that's where I'm from originally. I'm from Phoenix.
Oh man,
there you go.
So this is awesome, Brendan, because you're my kind of person. There was a time where pop punk like covered everybody. Like everybody was into this music. And then it sort of became hyper-focused on, the southern desert area where all this music was coming out of, in the aughts, the late 2000s. And when I lived there in 2007 to 2009, I was like, the Killers were there, Panic at the Disco, like all of this pop rock was starting to flourish. A local band, Otherwise, that I knew was really big, starting to blow. They had a hit single. So Vegas was the scene, man. And you were there from 2000. You said 2000.
Yeah. My first show in 10th grade, my mom used to have to take me to shows because you can't play bars underage without a...
Right.
I mean, some you can't, period. But my first real show in the city was 2003 with the Killers and a band called Red Means Go, which is actually the drummer for Otherwise, was the drummer for Red Means, or was in that other band, Red Means Go. And funny, Otherwise Connect is their drummer is actually filling in for us on these weekend shows we have coming up.
How about that?
Oh, that's cool. What happened to your drummer?
He's having some family things going on right now, so he's kind of taking a minute through the rest of this month. So we're gonna see what's going on. But
power to him. Hopefully they get through and everything's fine.
But Joe,
we don't like problems like that.
I told you, Joe, that there's something going on here in Vegas, because see how they're all sticking together. And the funny thing about Vegas is it's not like anywhere else in the world. You have to fight to entertain. You have to really work hard to be successful. Like, how did you make it?
I mean, I'm just like, I don't go away. No, the thing other people like generally don't consider is that Vegas is like the size of, an asshole. It's tiny, and it's impossible to have any degree. I mean, much more like 1 or 2 degrees of separation from someone. It's very tiny.
Especially when you're an entertainer, everybody knows everybody because you're all trying to like connect and trying to like get that show, that next show.
And it's like we had, coming up, like I think we had especially when I was still in school, like that scene was something really great and grassroots. And as I got older, I mean, we did our best to maintain, but again, it's a small thing, and it's again fighting for always fighting for that. And you'll see it when we have mid-level bands that will sell out Los Angeles or New York, but they'll come to Vegas on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and you're lucky if there's 20 people. It's just that kind of city. But
it's akin to the explosion in like television, cable television, or streaming services. There's when you're in Vegas, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
That
it's sensory overload.
If you don't like stand out, it's hard to get a gig.
Yeah. That's like the time you were mentioning in those, like, let's say 05 to, I mean, it probably started 06, but yeah, like 06 to 09, like everyone was coming down here. Everyone was coming out of here. I mean, our band at the time, Jared and I, the bass player in this band now, we had a band then, and we got a demo deal with Atlantic, like when all that was happening. And it was crazy because bands were just getting picked, and then it just died.
Yeah, there was a big spotlight on Vegas music for a heartbeat, Yeah,
like we had I remember how we had a little like feature and spin, and like all the crazy shit was going on, and then it just kind of, it went the way it went. And I'd say
it was like Santa Barbara in the late 90s, Barry.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Remember our scene? We were there for that.
Well, I was there in
2001 came, and it was like, what, Santa Barbara who?
Yeah, well, yeah, and I was there in Vegas at that time, too, and I remember it's like I went to Portland after, and I was like surprised that nothing else is coming from. I was like, everything, used to having all this music coming out of Vegas, and then nothing. It was wild. Yeah. So, but anyway, this sparked it piqued our interest, especially Joe, because your music was produced and mixed by guys that are like involved in pop punk from our age. Descendants, all Black Flag, Propaganda, No Effects.
Bill Stevenson produced like a ton of really good punk albums in the 80s and 90s. Like he's stuff.
He's a legend, man.
How did you get that?
Oh, by the way, and you recorded at the Blasting Room in Fort Collins. How'd you like it?
It was great. The thing with Bill is I met Bill in high school, just blindly emailing people because I'm a tenacious asshole, and that's what I've always done. Because
you gotta be. You gotta be your own guy. Yep.
Because there's someone behind you that wants it just as bad. But yeah, that's how I did things, man. Because it's like you got to take the shot, and if you look stupid, you look stupid. But I emailed Bill, I think my junior year of high school, and asked if he'd be interested in, working with my band at the time. And that, like, into senior year, we like arranged it, and I went out there, and it was a clusterfuck because I was a fucking opinionated asshole, and I had 2 other guys with me that weren't good musicians. And
to be 17 and 18.
Yeah, that's the thing. And but like we stayed friends, throughout the years, and I through everything else, and time moves on. I know the last 2 Mercy records we wanted to do with him, but schedule conflicts with Rise Against and obviously Descendants for those years. So 2022, I gave him the whole year to give me the dates, and it lined up. So it was really great to go back there, and also because you kind of have something to prove that no one thinks you're still an idiot.
Right. And then you can also tell him like, hey, I got married and I mellowed out a little bit. Yeah. So I'm not I'm a horrible asshole anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a 18-year-old tyrant. But yeah, no, it was great. And it's like working with Bill. I mean, there's no doubt that we're like the way I write or, the way I play is heavily influenced by all the Descendants big time. So it's like someone I look up to, and go back and do this. I think it was just the appropriate batch of songs and everything just kind of came together. So it was really, really great.
When you guys were recording, were you soloing or were you all in the big room at Blasting Room?
We were all solo. Drums were big room, and we used Studio B for vocals, guitars, and bass. The drums were done in A. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting into the weeds here, but I used to work. I was a second engineer at Orange Whip Studios in Santa Barbara back in the day.
Legendary.
For Lagwagon and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. So I'm like really interested to know, like, when people are recording, how'd you do it? You know, what were you using? What kind of mics? You know, what was the board like? But the Blasting Room is like one of those, if you know punk rock, you know the Blasting Room because a lot of people have recorded there because the sound is real tight.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so cool.
That's like, I mean, that's the thing is like, if you go to the Blasting Room, you know what to expect. Like, you know the way it's going to go. So
did Jason Livermore mix all this stuff? Oh, and Jason Livermore did like Descendants of Propaganda and No Effects and Hot Water Music. And I need you to get Jason to get Propaganda and Hot Water Music to come back together and do reunion shows.
Yeah.
So if you could do that, then I'll be your best friend for life.
Oh man, Jason mixed and did the mix on this as well. Jason's also amazing, great human being, and him and Jared, the bass player, got to bro down on lifting weights and being very athletic because they're both those type of people.
Hell yeah, bro down. Thank you for using that term.
And I am not.
That's the only. You're the only other human other than me who said that. That's great. Thank you. I was like, did I invent the word bro down? Because I've never heard it before, and then you just popped it in. Great. I love it. So let me ask you, are you writing all of these songs? What instruments are you playing on them? Are you playing anything?
So I write the music, and then I kind of bring it to the band, and we, generally arrange it together. I mean, beyond wherever it's at. So I bring it to the room, and we, fuck with it, and probably fuck with it too much to the point where I go crazy. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the record's concerned, like vocals and guitar are me always. And yeah, that is
what do you play guitar wise?
I generally gravitate towards Les Paul Jr.'s stuff with P90s or single pickups, and I use a Marshall JMP, which is like the predecessor to the 800. So it's just basically a super lead with a master volume.
Love it.
I really hate pedals and stuff like that, but I mean, they're a necessary evil. So like I have a boost and I have a tuner.
But you're like, you're not like the 6 or 7 pedal guy.
No, I don't have like a space station at my feet. Like I'm very clumsy and have terrible balance. So like adding any more,
you don't want to be falling over at your shows.
No, because I can fall. I can fall with nothing. I can break a cable and I can break a wireless. So it doesn't. Yeah, I'm like a bull in a china shop, and I play guitar like a drummer.
You crack me up.
So this last album that you guys made, What You Stand to Lose, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. What number album is this?
This is
3,
4.
4? This is 4. Okay.
It's going great.
Okay, so you're on your 4th album, and you're touring.
Yes,
you're going to be out on you're going to do some shows. You're headlining your own, and then you're out on tour with some other people, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's things I can't like release yet, but as for now, for the actual,
us all the secrets?
I can't tell you all the awesome stuff. No, but yeah, we're doing some like a handful of West Coast release dates that we have up now on all our socials, through Arizona up to San Francisco. This weekend we have Long Beach on Friday, which would be the 16th of June, and Los Angeles the 17th with Versus the World, who are also initially based out of Santa Barbara. So yeah. And then we're going to have some Pacific Northwest after that later into July.
You're headed north.
Yeah.
Man,
just staying as busy as possible.
You're going to Long Beach and LA. I hope you get a big crowd there, Everybody likes this kind of music, and they come out of the weeds for it, you know?
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best always.
So what do you like? I ask this to a lot of bands, and, you know, it's kind of surprising. I'm not sure what I'm going to get as far as an answer from you, Brendan, but...
I like nothing. I like absolutely nothing.
I also want to mention just real quick. Versus the World features Chris from Lagwagon.
Yeah,
I lived with Chris for about 3 months.
That's awesome.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. His girlfriend at the time was really, really nice. However, I was working a 9-to-5 and they were punk rockers.
Yeah.
It did not work out for me because like I would get home from work at like midnight and have to work the next day at like 7 or 8 because I was just pulling like 18-hour days at the radio station.
Yeah.
And man, these guys would get home from the bar at like 3 and not go to sleep until I left for work.
Yeah.
So
that sounds accurate.
They were nice guys, but man, I like literally left them some money, climbed out the window and like bailed because I just could not stand it. But he's a really nice guy, so say hi to Chris Slippin for me when you see him.
Well, I will do.
What a punk rock exit, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Say Fat Joe from KHTY says hi.
Oh,
he'll go, what? Yeah, he'll go like, what? No way. Yeah, that's crazy stuff.
So what do you like better? Do you like producing music or performing music? What is it that you like better? Or is it even? What do you like better, making it or doing it?
I mean, it goes into, I guess, the parameters surrounding the external factors surrounding it. I gotta say it's equal because, you know, the right show and the right situation, recording and create, like, they're both pretty unrivaled for me because like a great show, there's nothing that can compare to the feeling you get from that, you know, the emotional, physical response. Like it's better than, you know, drugs, sex, whatever, because it just is. You know, I mean, for me, speaking for myself, and then just creating is also awesome when you have that environment. I have to say it's got to be 50-50 without, you know, any specifics. I'd have to say without, sorry to not pick one and be passive aggressive. I'm
surprised, but that's a fair answer, I think.
Yeah.
50-50.
I love both equally.
Because, you know, some bands are like, oh, we're so afraid of the audience, you know, we'd rather be behind the scenes overproducing our music. And then other people are like, who gives a shit? I'm on stage. That's what matters. You know, but the ones that are working are the ones that have, you know, equal cups, like what you just explained.
Because it's like, you know, when it's going good, that you can't beat either. Honestly, it's the things I don't like are everything else that comes with it. You know, like the business side of, you know, from social media to all of that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm going to sound like a boomer, but like your job isn't just like, I sing and play guitar in a band anymore. It's like you have to do everything. And if you can't, and you're expecting to like, you know, kind of have this as a job or make this your work or what, I mean, you have to cover all aspects of it.
You got to learn all that stuff because I mean it's too expensive to pay someone to do it.
It is, and it's like if you can't make yourself relevant on your own, no one else is going to give a fuck, and that's just the truth. And some people are willing to accept it, some aren't. But yeah, the days of like, I'm a singer songwriter, and that's it.
And that was good enough. Yeah. It's over. But here's the other thing is you don't need to go like too crazy with this social because all you really need to do is just be authentic. Yeah. Like, because that's what people want right now. Like they don't need like the glitzy glamour, you know, like super glossy social media post. Yeah. They need to see like, hey, this is me and my dog and my son today.
They want the real.
We're catching butterflies. You know, they like stuff like that.
And I have them like, I mean, just looking at numbers and views and like people like me being the idiot that I am, making whatever, like they prefer that. And I can see it via what they watch and what they don't watch. And it's like people want to see you, you know, and even the stupid shit in your life. And like, I learned a lot from Mike from MXPX doing this because I think he's been incredibly successful at it.
He's my favorite. That guy's my favorite, dude. He came from like religious Raw punk rock, dude. Amazing.
But his social media game is so strong because like it dawned on me because I was scrolling through and I'm like, he did a reel of him like repaving his front driveway.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm watching it and I'm like, why am I watching this? And I'm like, it worked.
Because it makes okay, a lot of people feel like rock stars or movie stars or television stars are like these otherworldly beings who don't exist on the same plane as us. We're all just people.
Exactly.
Everybody's got stuff to do. We all got to take the kids to school. We all got to do the dishes. You know, we're not like, you know, Fleetwood Mac over here with hundreds of millions of dollars buying houses in Hawaii.
Yeah,
we're doing the work,
and I think people want to see that, you know. So, yeah, being it seems to be what pays off in the end, as far as, you know, getting hurt or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. So don't think too much. Just post. Post about whatever you're doing. Like what I would do is like I have squirrels that come on my balcony every day. I just take videos and throw them up. People love that stuff. You know, it's like, oh, that's stupid. Oh, this is cute. You know, it's like, okay, everybody's a human being.
Yeah, just little clips of your life as it is, man. People really enjoy that, and it's just that's what I've learned in experimenting with all this, and just being yourself is what people appreciate and why they were there in the first place, as far as the band is concerned, and yeah,
you know.
Okay, so go ahead.
I got one. Let me have one here. I have a question for Brendan here for Mercy Music, who's playing this weekend and all through Arizona coming up and all up north coming to your town. I have a question. So you talk a lot of talk here, being from Vegas and all, where people come to you, but are you traveling as a band? Are you on the road with the van, with the guys and the farts and all that stuff? Is that what's happening?
Always. I mean, we just did I don't know if we were rolling it or not, but we just did a little over a month with Unwritten Law across the entire United States and back.
Are you on a tour bus or
no? We're right.
They're renting a van and following the tour bus.
You know, I still drive I used to own the touring vehicle. I still drive the band van, but it's like I put over 100,000 miles on it in the past 8 years. So we have been renting the last few tours.
Here's a question. Is there a dedicated driver or do you guys switch off?
That's been the fun.
Driving by yourself is like hard.
Historically, it's almost always been me up until the last couple of years, and I'm the psychopath that decides to drive, you know, from Phoenix to Austin in one shot, or from St. Louis to Nashville after we get done in Nashville. Like
you're like, oh yeah, let's just throw on 700 miles now.
Yeah, that's me.
2 or 3 in the morning.
I made a promise to the guys that I'll stop doing that because a few years back we left Arizona and I wanted to go home at like 2 a.m. and I probably could have killed all of us at about 4 a.m. So I made a promise to stop doing that. But lately, I mean, I have a job now that I can be remote. So a lot of the time I am working a 9 to 5 in the back of the van, which is like insanely killer to do while also touring, but also grateful because I have a steady stream of income and my children can eat.
Exactly. Well, what do you do?
I work for a staging company called Solo Tech. So we do like touring for like really successful people like Taylor Swift and the like. So we do their lighting and their stage shows and their video.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm not. It's as far as day jobs are concerned. Like I love.
But then you're on stage. But then you're on stage there, looking at the poor lighting situation you have at a venue, and you can't get it out of your head. You're just crazy.
God damn it! I should have just brought a rack with me. What am I doing? So good.
No, it's great, and they think it's cool that I do this too. So it's been a nice trade off with it, you know. And I'm lucky I get to be remote and do my job. So, but yeah, the last few years, Jared, the bass player, has been driving a lot more. And on this last tour, we hired an extra for merch and for driving.
That's really cool. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes you just need that extra support system there to help you out.
So it was weird this last tour because it was the first time I wasn't the one.
Yeah, you're sitting in the back of the van doing your day job.
Yeah,
someone else is driving.
I felt like I was being chauffeured, and I wasn't used to it. It was really weird, but Yeah, it's starting. There's been a change. There's been a shift.
So because you have this knowledge in your we'll just call it your day job. Are you now going into every venue and just like super critical of all of their tech?
That's what's really funny is I like as day job, like I'm a technician. Like I fix things and like, you know, all like equipment, live audio equipment majority. And I got the job here and I never worked with lights before. And I got hired on to fix, you know, stage lighting, which I'd never done before. So it was like a learning curve. And then I had the opportunity to do what I do now, which is like I work for the procurement side of things. So I order and do all the stupid keyboard jockey stuff that no one wants to do and all the math. But now
that's like what I do.
Yeah.
Stupid keyboard jockey stuff.
That's what I am. I'm really good at jockeying keyboard.
And that's where the passion comes from too. I know that because you're working alongside all of these people that are doing it and you're on the way there. So it's not like a job that you're like, you're not like making paper. You know what I mean? You're not like carbon copying stuff.
It's cool to be on both sides of it. But yeah, to answer the original thing, I'd never paid attention before to like, you know, the lighting and now it's the first thing I look at when I get to where we're going, or if I'm at a bigger show or something like that. Or it's really funny because majority of the time it's like when I'm at a bigger show, it's our company has done the lighting or the staging for the show. And it's cool and funny.
Yeah. It's hard to wear two hats. So a lot of bands are talking about singles versus albums. Now, in the old days, you needed to make an album and then release a couple of singles over time. And what the kids are telling me now is that it's a singles world where you have to do it now, post it on all the platform things, and then make all the cash, and then eventually you'll make an album. But what are your thoughts on that whole thing?
All the cash. I want some of that. I want some of the cash.
Can you please share? Because I need some of that too.
Yeah, let me know how that. I want your single. I completely agree. And we did. I mean, we did this record because I wanted to do a record. It was selfish, I guess, because I'm old school in that regard. But
are you front to back storytelling through the whole record?
I think this one particularly, yeah, just via the subject matter and the dumpster fire that my life is the past year and a half that I'm trying to wade through. But yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I don't think people have the attention spans, and I know people have been saying that for years, generation of the kids, but the advent of the huge effect of, you know, social media and being independent and people's, you know, attention spans literally lasting 30 to 60 seconds because that's what I know I have teenagers and it's the truth. And I mean,
I think we've also discovered that, you know, when it comes to like Netflix, they'll drop a series.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it for a week and then everybody forgets about it.
And that's with the record, it's the same thing. And I know with the record before the one we're putting out now, we dropped it right in the middle of shutdown because we went back and forth with like, how long could this last? And like, I'm not going to hold on to this record for 2 years. And so we did it. And it's been, our previous record has been our most successful one to date. But I watched, you know, the shelf life that thing has. And that's your entire shot.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
And you're like, I think we put it out in the fall of, it would have been 2020, 21? I guess. 2020, 2021. And, you know, I watched how long it lasted. And it was like, I think we had a shelf life from September to maybe January of real impact, and it was done. And with the singles, like, it fits the shift and the way things are going. I mean, and us moving forward, it will be singles, definitely. I mean, in the culmination that maybe it will be an album after that at some point. But
yeah, I think that's what everybody's doing now. It's like every 2 weeks they drop a single, then they've dropped 12 to 14, and then they put them all together and they release the album.
You know, and I think their acts grandfathered into modern day, like your Foo Fighters and your Green Days and always have.
Well, but sure, but they already have millions and millions and millions of fans. They don't need music discovery to help them out.
There'll always be that group of bands that could still do records and it's still.
Right.
But I think
well,
now
like
for
Pearl Jam,
than,
like Pearl Jam hasn't had an actual like single that broke the top 100 in like 20 years. Yet every album that they put out sells like 2 to 3 million copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Built-in fan base. Once you get there, you can be like Beyonce and just drop an album without telling anybody, and then it's like number one on the charts for 32 weeks.
Exactly, and it's like for me as like being like as a musician or whatever. Of course, like I always want to do a record because like that's what is cool to me. But like for now and for the way life is, like it will be singles, and it has its benefits too. Even as a musician, it has its benefits where you can maybe just put your focus on one song instead of 12, and for that moment, and maybe you get a better product out of it. You never know, and like so, looking at things that way, it has its benefits too. When you just put all your time and energy into one or two things as opposed to 10. So I think it's the way, and I think it's a good thing. I said I think it's like 12 times there to get that out.
Yeah, it's like the record skip there, but I'm going to keep it. Yeah, it did. Just break the record in half. We're good.
What do your kids think about your guys' music?
Ooh, good question. Yeah.
So
you said you had some teenagers in there. I know you got some young kids.
And I don't think you're that old of a gentleman either. I think you're
I had kids. I had kids when I was really, really, I mean, it could have been worse, but young enough.
Vegas kids. Funny. That's how it
is. Which is funny because like the rest of the guys in the bands they had kids the past few years. So I get to laugh now because it's like when I told you I was tired 10 years ago.
Like, and you guys will now understand.
Now you know. When you told me you were tired, I laughed at you because you had no idea what fucking tired was. No, I have a 7-year-old boy. I have a 13-year-old boy and a 15-year-old daughter. So my 7-year-old actually came to see me for the first time when we came through with Unwritten Law this last time, and he didn't really know what to make of it.
It was like his dad up on stage.
Yeah, I think he was confused because, like, I mean, there's a dichotomy of people within what I do because it's like I'm probably my most like true self on stage, obviously, but I'm obviously a dad too, and I'm a pretty quiet guy, and I'm shy, and I'm not super social, like off the stage or whatever. And so I think that was weird for him. My 13-year-old son really loves it. Who is this?
Oh my gosh! What is happening?
It was kind of shell shocked by it, I think. My 13-year-old son, he's more like me and more into we listen to the same music and stuff like that, and I really enjoy bringing him along when we do the really cool shit when it happens. Like we did Rise Against almost a year ago. And I brought him out for that and had him meet all the guys, and they're all super nice to him. And
that's cool.
He got to, sound check and, play guitar and stuff on a, his 7,000 seat venue.
Nice.
At 13, like shit that I would have killed to do when I was his age.
Right. Like that's like, cool stuff.
That's the payoff for sure.
You're making your kids jaded super early. I love it.
Yeah, right.
Like music. Yeah, I've done that already.
So, but your kids aren't. They're also not like you're not like bringing your kids like, hey man, you guys want to listen to my new song, and you start playing it, and they're like, no, can we just listen to Alkaline Trio or something?
It's I know my daughter's like, it's not really her thing, and she's kind of embarrassed by it because her friends or her friends' parents find out who I am or whatever. And then so that side of things is funny with her. But to me, I'm just like, I'm dad. But I will say that they listen, they've found that, they found the band and listened to it independently. And I know that they'll tell me the songs they like or they'll ask to hear it. I don't ever want to be in a position where it's like, you want to see daddy's new fucking like midlife crisis. So I'm appreciative of that.
You are too funny. Your self-deprecating humor is just killing me. I love it.
Oh man, I'm super real about it. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, and I think it's the perfect level between the three of them for whatever. And and you run into your own like personal issues with that, being a parent and also trying to be a musician. And because you meet other parents that, you know, have the house, the nice house and a nice car, and they want to live vicariously through you because they gave up on whatever they wanted to do. And it's like, that's cool, but I want your bank account. You know?
Yeah, they want our passion, and we're like, yeah, but right now I'm podcasting in my closet. So do you really want my life? I'd rather have your bank account sometimes.
Yeah. I'm sleeping on my mother's couch right now. If that's an indication of where I'm at in my life. So yeah, but that passion thing is great.
All right, I got one last question. For you. I'm going to switch it up from what I usually ask because, you know, we're talking about the kids right now.
Yeah.
If you could play any venue and take your kids to see you play at any cool venue in the entire world.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Where would you want to take the family to see you play a show?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, I was just there. Oh, my first time ever. It was great.
It'd have to be, it'd have to be Madison Square Garden. And, you know, Madison Square Garden. And then I could build a bill around it too. But, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, Madison Square Garden, it was a lot of fun.
What would the bill be that you would build around it?
I mean, Green Day would have to be.
Oh, sure. I can take that.
Because third grade in 1996 changed my life. Yeah, it's got to be Green Day.
Third grade. I had to wait till like seventh.
Yes, I got my mom. My mom took my first CD that I actually bought, and I think it was third grade was Dookie, and my mom took it away.
Because it was Dookie.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm older than you guys. That came out in college for me.
Oh man,
yeah, that's. But yeah, that would be a fun show. Madison Square Garden with Green Day and you guys. I'd go to that for sure.
Well, that's like something that realistically could happen. So
I mean, that's the hope before I die.
My advice is when you go,
can you play with like Hot Heat or something like that too?
Yeah. You know what's funny is our Jared and I, the bass player's band after high school, we did play with Hot Heat and all those type of bands.
Oh no way!
Because they were blowing up then. Like I think it would have been like 2004.
Yep.
Maybe they were starting.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So we played with Hot Heat.
Oh man, good times. Oh man. Why, Barry? Why are you just now bringing this band to us?
Well, my only advice.
Very disappointed in you,
Brendan, is when you go to Madison Square Garden and you open for Green Day or vice versa, don't look at the lighting. Just let it go.
Hey, they had really good lighting. When
Enjoy the moment. Yeah, have a good time.
Better have good lighting.
All right, let's talk about that new single, Suddenly. Now, you have two off of this record, Love You / Need You and Suddenly. Can you tell us about these two songs?
I can. Love You Need You is it matches. It's probably, there's actually, we put a third one out called Found Out I'm Useless. But the record's all kind of a revolving theme around my life kind of falling apart last year. And Love You Need You is kind of the flagship for me. And it's just...
Well, do you want to tell us about how your life fell apart? We love tragedy here.
I mean, my wife and I separated a year ago. I think this month right now. But it was because the songs were written before the actual official thing happened, but a lot of that was me. The record is me coming to terms with where things are at and being able to accept them. Definitely. Love You Need You is probably the flagship of that. And just, the chorus of the song is things that, were said to me. And it's that was the best way I could kind of phrase the situation, get my point across in the chorus. But yeah, the whole record is that, and trying to, hope that you're going to get to a real place of acceptance and maybe some peace and grow through all of it. Then there's things like the tie-in with it where you'd have Suddenly also, which is more aligned with being in music for so long on that side of things in my life, and having the perseverance to keep going even though it sucks the majority of the time. and it's because it's always an uphill battle with for me, it is anyways, with music, to keep pushing through and going despite, because it's like what insanity is, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I think music is one of the few things where that is an exception, because you never know. And the only way you know is if you stop doing it.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. And that's the theme of the record in all honesty. And there's some darker spots like Love You Need You. And then you have like more wise ass sarcasm with Suddenly and Found Out I'm Useless. The third one we just put out is definitely more being able to laugh at yourself. And, there's a touch of cynicism and stuff like that. But yeah, all the same.
And that's where good writing comes from heartbreak, from tragedy. I mean, I'm really sad that happened, but yeah. I mean, now you have a label and you have an album from it. I mean, not to compare you to Kelly Clarkson, but
I'll take it.
She's doing her TV show, and her husband was like her writer partner.
Oh, wait, wasn't her husband's name also Brendan?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to see.
But they just divorced, and she just released a rager, I think.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't heard the song yet. I read an article about it.
Yeah, everybody's writing about it and stuff. So, kudos to you for funneling the emotion in the appropriate place, I think.
Okay, it's not Brendan. It's Brendan, like
Brendan Urie.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the good Brendan like you. It's bad Brendan with the O.
He spelled his name fucking wrong. That's the problem.
Yeah, he spelled his name wrong. How dare he? Yeah. Get it right, Brendans.
Can't be in this club.
Jeez. All right. Well, we're gonna play Suddenly here from Mercy Music, Brendan, your new single. But before we do that, oh boy, here's the question. Would you rather get into a battle to the death with one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? A battle to the death, Brendan.
Ooh. I'm going to go with duck-sized horses because they're at foot level.
Easily kickable. That's my thing. I mean, I am a big kicker.
You do realize there's 100 of them.
I do, but imagine.
It's a tough question, man.
Imagine, if you will, a horse-sized duck and that thing coming at you and probably outmaneuvering you in speed, more than likely, and in mass.
I mean, a duck doesn't really have that much. You can catch a regular-sized duck, probably if you have some patience.
And it's so big it'll quack at you and blow you back just with the force of the quack.
I'm picturing this, and I see an exit strategy with being able to maneuver through a field of 100.
100 horses nibbling at your toes.
Yeah, and maybe maybe I can train them and have a legion of duck-sized horses. You
can also throw your bandmates in front of you to distract while you escape.
Makeshift shield. Yes, absolutely.
Well, man, stay dry, stay cool. Watch out for El Nino because it's coming. It's going to hit you in the face. And don't drive at 4 a.m. He's already come to terms.
Promise. Made my promises.
Yes. Brendan, thanks for coming on Mercy Music. We'll see you Friday and Saturday here in the Southland, and then on tour coming to your town soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Suddenly I can't avoid this. Apparently I can't enjoy things all alone. The odds are slim, let me tell you that. Corrupt, give in, let me sell you a line of shit to get you through the day. Get up, give in, so they place your bet, put it all on black. The edge to win, better give it back. Fight and die to fight and die again. You did your best, but dug a hole.